Tell me about your first experience at the theater.
First experience in theater. Before I moved to Shawnee 17 years ago, my older sister and I used to come to Shawnee all the time. There was an attraction here. We just both fell in love with the town. And we'd go to the community exchange store. And then when the library was in here, was my first experience down here, I came in and working at the paper. I followed the elections and stuff, and I used to come down and talk to the board, the workers. But the actual first time in the theater was when I worked at the paper, and Skip Ricketts took me up there but it's just a piece of history that you can't not fall in love with. So that was my first time in the building, was really up on the third floor. They had to move the barricades in front of the door, and the whole front was totally different than it is now. But
Any emotions or do you remember sort of what you felt when you kind of crossed the threshold from the first floor to the second floor and so on?
That was before the new steps were put in, of course, and it was so creepy. My first thought was I'm going to fall through one of these boards and break a leg or take my whole life. But it was really, it was exciting. It was kind of scary, but when you get up there and it's just like you've opened the past. It's like people just walked away from it, and then you just walked into the past. And the thoughts of viewing, you'd see all the people that used to at one time be playing basketball or on the dance floor doing the ballroom dancing and all the other 50s and 40s dances. And to me, it was just really mind-blowing how anyone could have ever had thoughts of tearing it down or getting rid of it.
Second question here. Do you have a favorite memory or experience or something, maybe a physical feature about the theater that sticks out?
The first floor, there's the music, the events that take place, the party, how the community all comes together for any type of event. And then when you go to the second floor, the thoughts of one day it being all completed and people enjoying it. And the third floor, when you go up there and you look at the view out that window, it's just amazing how this was the skyscraper of the county at one time. I think you're just overwhelmed by the way the town looks, and then when you come into this building and the opportunities that are here that's been saved so far and what can be done and will be done.
I think there's a lot of possibility, not with just the theater, but with the town specifically. And I think I really do think it's got something for everyone, and that's what attracts a plethora of different people. One thing that Judge Cooper Ryder really was adamant about was that she felt that Tecumseh was sort of the biggest tourist attraction of southern Perry County.
I would say right now, and the way we all know what's in the works right now and the plans, but I would say I just feel that Shawnee is the entertainment capital of the county. It is. It's going to be the hub, the new hub for, granted, Somerset, the northern part is beautiful. It's historic. But this part of the county shows how hard life was, and people survived, and they fought for what they wanted. It's just, you see these photographs of the streets and the people on them. These people loved this town. They loved this southern part of the county, or they would have up and all left. But they didn't. There's a lot to be said for the people of this area, a lot.
Yeah, I see the significance in the Tecumseh Theater being a direct reflection and a direct representation of the idea of resiliency, but it's also a testament, like you were saying, to the people that constructed this building, and not just this building, and I think it's something that's kind of an underpinning in the historic tour, but I think the buildings themselves are a manifestation of resiliency. And when I think of resiliency, I think that's sort of a keystone of Appalachian culture and of people. And it's a tangible and direct connection to the past, like you were saying. I think for folks to have that connection to their identity, it's intertwined.
Because you take most towns, you see the structures in them. They're brick and mortar. There are a lot of bricks. This town has the brick, but a lot of wood, the wooden structures. Granted, some of them have been lost by fire, whatnot, but it amazes me how these buildings, they've been ignored for so long, but yet they're still standing, a little crooked, a little cockeyed. But when you touch one of those wooden buildings, you think to yourself, how many people have been through this building? And somehow it's withstood the test of time and it's still standing. But I'm just amazed that the porch structures are still, yourself, they're decaying, they're rotting, but they're still hanging on.
They are, yeah. And I think it's a microcosm of the people here, and there's that resiliency and that sense of hope that yes, the theater specifically, I like to refer to it as sort of the cultural epicenter and the cultural capital of the Hocking Valley. Mm-hmm. But it can be that again, and it can still serve that same entertainment purpose, but also provide kind of a connection to better understanding architecture, better understanding history.
Oh, that's what the architecture, you don't see that in any building anymore.
No. Yeah, this was early skyscraper with the I-beam architecture, and then also with all the overhanging porches. Mm-hmm. It's the best boom style.
Well, right through this block with the old bank building, the old Desperado, the Opera House, this one, and even the next door there. That building is brick, Rob's old building, but then the one beside it, it's brick. But the front, all the wood and the porches are wooden. They're still connected to that building.
Yeah. Next question, what does the Tecumseh Theater mean to you, and also, what does the Tecumseh Theater, in your opinion, mean to the town?
It is the meeting center, the heart and the core right now of the downtown area. When you direct anyone, it's the center point. And when you're in here, it's just a feeling of being so comfortable with whoever you're with, your family, your friends, if it's a concert. The laughter, you sit back and you listen to people chattering. You don't hear what they're saying, but you see everybody's laughing and having a good time. What's the second part of that question?
So what does it mean to you? And then in a broader sense, what do you think it means to the town?
Like I said, I think it's all tied into one with the core that just pulls people into, it's always the theater being used for something. It's the fact that we have a place. If we did not have this building right here, there would be no gathering. From local people to out-of-town people, and the first thing they want to do is, can we go upstairs and look at the theater? First question they give you, you know that. Could somebody take us upstairs?
We're going to get to that point.
Yeah,
Hold on.
Yeah. So, for someone to come into your town that's from New York, Colorado, California, just Logan or anywhere, and that's the first, is there anything you can go in there and show us, That's the first thing they want to do. Tell them a story about the theater or about on Main Street. Without the people who care and love it, it wouldn't be here. Can't imagine that, can you? As long as you've been around here, can you imagine that there would be, it's like the courthouse, It's just like the foothold right here. If it wasn't for this building.
And it kind of struck me the first thing you said, and it also echoes what the first thing Judge Cooperrider thought of, was the idea that it's like a continued source of unity and fosters community and togetherness. And I think that's really important given the climate of everything and the polarization. But
it does. It really does. And
I think too, it builds this unity in one another and those who experience the theater, because that's the common link that we all have, and we all share this love.
And not too many towns have that. Think about it. You go through the whole county, or you even, any town that has like a theater. I think, Nelsonville, Marietta has one. Other communities do, but it's just a place where that's for anybody. There's no big restrictions on it. Like, it's not a school building, it's not a church or anything of that nature. It's just a public building where you can have any type of event here.
Another thing that Judge Cooperrider told me that I think that you'll like is that it was built by people here for people here.
Oh, exactly.
It's of the people, right? So I think that's really cool. The last question here, what's your vision?
Oh, geez, the vision of the musical entertainment from all over, not just in Ohio, but pulling in entertainers from all over the place, having plays, musicals. Downstairs, use as the lobby area where you come in and you can have a refreshment or some snack or get, before the event, and everybody then when you get your ticket, everybody starts scurrying off to the theater upstairs. Just the fact of the curtain coming open. Can you imagine what that looked like the first night, that curtain coming open? And who's going to be the first entertainer on that finished stage? Is it going to be local entertainers? Is it going to be from somebody, big name entertainer? That's the, you see that vision and it's like, wow, who's going to be on that committee to start?
Oh, yeah.
To
Who's going to be responsible for getting the guy or girl on the...
Oh, yeah. I mean, that big show lights out on the parking is a problem on Main Street.